Some of you know that I have a chronic foot ailment. It is called plantar fasciitis, and that is the Latin name for my feet hurt a lot. And tennis shoes with orthotic inserts are sometimes as fashionable as I can get because anything else is too painful to wear. And it kind of flares up when I least need it to flare up. Like when we were on pilgrimage last month and we're walking a lot through Northumbria and Scotland. Tab Carter said that she estimated, according to her iPhone, we walk 5.5 miles every day. Now, normal people had normal strides, and I was like the duck where I'm going like this. I was taking 3 steps to their every one. And so I was the one in the back, and then further back, and then further back. And I'm very grateful to the ministrations of Tab Carter and Beth Conley because frequently they held back with me. They made sure that somebody knew, the preacher's in the back. You may want to bring the priest up, or not. They had a choice. So it comes up when I least expect it, and then it just puts my whole body in an uproar. My first experience with this kind of pain was shortly after my father had died. And it was when my mother was deciding to downsize and was moving out of my childhood home. I mean, how dare she? She was moving out of my childhood home. So I was helping her downsize, and pack and unpack and all the stuff that goes with moving, and it was just exhausting. And one morning in her new home, I woke up. I literally couldn't take another step. I couldn't. Because each step felt like 1,000 little knives cutting into my foot. I will be glad to give you other excruciating metaphors for you to take home, but we'll leave it at that. It hurt. I couldn't take another step. And what I've learned since that time is that there are correlation between episodes of exhaustion, be it physical, emotional, or spiritual, and foot pain. When I have felt that I cannot take another step, my body has a way of making that so real that I have to slow down, even when I don't want to. Y'all, we can't always see for ourselves what ails us. Sometimes our bodies have to tell us. And sometimes other people can't see what ails us. I almost put my tennis shoes on with orthotics, but I didn't have time, so I wore these, and boy, am I regretting it. And seeing me in tennis shoes, someone who does not know me might think, oh, I'm just trying to be a funky priest. The reality is, no, I'm just trying to stand up straight. I'm just trying to walk. Well, in today's gospel, we hear the story of a woman who could not stand up straight. We don't know why. Maybe she had a herniated disc. Maybe she had scoliosis. Or maybe, just maybe, she felt like she was carrying the weight of the world until that weight just bent her over. And all you do is look at feet. Your feet and the feet of others. As we heard in the gospel, for 18 years, she was literally bent over in pain, doubled over in pain. And hers was a pain that you could see, but so much of the pain that you and I bear, the pain that bends us in two, is invisible to the naked eye. A couple years ago, I found this saying that brought all of this home for me. You're probably familiar with it. It reads, "Be kinder than necessary, for everyone you meet is fighting some kind of battle." Be kinder than necessary, for everyone you meet is fighting some kind of battle. Now, as a priest who is privy to many private stories, I know that to be true. I long ago, learned not to be so envious of other people. Because I've learned that beneath the pretty homes and the pretty faces, most people are fighting some kind of battle, only the pain is not so visible to others. Years ago, I started a group that was called Parenting When It Hurts, because I was so aware of so many of our people who are hurting for their children, mainly adolescent or grown children. Children who are crippled by various addictions. And they felt alone in that knowledge because you would never know by looking at them what kind of pain they were bearing. Be kinder than necessary, for everyone you meet is fighting some kind of battle. Battles over addictions are not obvious to everyone, unless you can mark it by tears and midnight prayers. Beloved, what is bending you over in pain right now? What's causing you to double over in pain? It may be the emotional pain, that life has not turned out the way you planned. It may be spiritual pain. Your soul, your spirit just feels flat. We may be singing songs of praise, but all you feel is a croak in your throat. Maybe it's financial pain. Maybe you've taken out one too many loans. Maybe, oh my God, you have a student loan. The Lord be with you. Maybe you're worried that our country may be facing another financial pinch, and you too well remember 2008. Or you look around the church, and you think, these are nice people, and we are. Who could be hurting here? Who could be hurting? You see, for the most part, we're a middle-class church. Our homes, our cars are about the same as everybody else. How many of you all have a Subaru Outback? Okay. It used to be Camrys. Let's hear it for Outbacks. What we can't see is the fear that is bending us in two. What we can't see is that some in our very community are always worried that they're not going to be able to make the next paycheck. Be kinder than necessary, for everyone you meet is fighting some kind of battle. The woman in today's gospel had been in battle for 18 years. And our gospel story does not say as she went to the synagogue where Jesus was teaching in order to be healed. It just reads, and just then there appeared a woman with a spirit that had crippled her for 18 years. And then it goes on to say, Jesus saw her. Jesus saw her. I remember my mother, as she was getting older and her health was taking a toll, she would often say she felt like the invisible woman. She would go to the counter and people wouldn't wait on her. You know, she would go to get something and people would ignore her. She would stand in line to be seated at a restaurant and people would ignore her. She felt like the invisible woman. This invisible woman was seen by Jesus. Jesus always sees what most of us don't. Maybe we don't see the pain that wears another human being down because we're so used to seeing that person doubled over. We forget that's not how God made us. God created us to stand upright, physically, spiritually, mentally. We fail to really see that person, which means it's easy to run roughshod over them because we never really saw them in the first place. Be kinder than necessary, for everyone you meet is fighting some kind of battle. So how can you be kind? Well, Jesus said it best. Jesus said it best. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Y'all know it as the golden rule. For me, it is worth its weight in gold when we put it into practice. You see, I have a lot of concerns about people these days. And one of my concerns is the lack of civil discourse. And I am not just talking about our political leaders. I'm talking about us, you, and me. Some of you have heard me say this before, but a year or so ago, I offered a class on civility. And afterwards, someone, about halfway through the class, someone came up and said, I thought you were going to talk about those people. You've got us talking about ourselves. And I went, yeah, that's where it begins. That's where it begins. The lack of civil discourse. This is something that I've noticed not just in society, but in our community at large. It's the abundance of virulent Twitter feeds and emails that scorch with anger. Have you ever been trolled? It's not fun. Because we can't see the person, and there's that word again, we can't see the person. We take our filters off and we push that send button without ever considering the private battles the recipient might be fighting. Battles that we might be privy to if we just took the time to sit down and really see who we're talking to, and then act as Jesus would have us act. Beloved, that is being kind. And it's not even being kinder than necessary, because if we are following Christ, then we're doing as Jesus would have us do. Now, the story of this pain-laden woman ends as almost all the stories of Jesus end, with a healing. And in her case, it's physical. Jesus reaches out and he touches her, and she stands up straight. Maybe, just maybe, that's what you need today. Physical healing, emotional healing, or spiritual healing. If that is you, let Jesus reach out and touch you and help you stand up straight. And because most of us can't do this on our own, I encourage you to use our prayer team. They're available to you, and the instructions are in your bulletins. I'm not going to go over that, but after you receive communion, you can be with some people who will pray the Spirit of Christ with you and help you stand up straight. And some of us, when we are kind of bent over, and I know people get worried about me sometimes at the end of the service because I'm like, the Lord be with you. This was a great service. You know, it was doing good. Maybe we just need that push in the back, the small of the back, to help us stand up straight. There are people who can do that for you. Or it may be that today Jesus needs to use you to reach out and to touch someone who is doubled over by pain that no one can see unless they see with the eyes of Christ. If so, you've got this power. You've got this power, and it's the power of Jesus to flow through you to liberate another human being. You've got that power. You've got that gift, and I so encourage you to use that gift. Because remember, we all need to be kinder than necessary, for every single person you meet is fighting some kind of battle. In Jesus' name. Amen.